Told you earlier, the man who was supposed to be sitting here today, Andrew Kabuura, is in Russia, Moscow to be precise, and he was talking to one African legend in the names of Daniel Amokachi about the World Cup so far. Take a listen.
The 2018 FIFA World Cup is on, and one of the biggest issues is how unpredictable this tournament is. Now, joining me to give me quick analysis is a very good friend of mine, but also an African football legend, a man who has coached at 2 World Cups and played at 2 World Cups. Now, most of the African football fans call him the Bull, but I call him Daniel Amokachi. Daniel, thank you very much for speaking to the Ugandan viewers out there. This World Cup, Daniel, Mexico getting a result against the defending champions. We saw a big result for Iceland against Argentina. We saw there's so many surprises. It's very unpredictable.
I think that's the beautiful thing about football. You know, when you come out in the major tournament, you know what, there's a lot of expectation, there's a lot of lows. You know, countries that you never expect to they pull out surprises, they are pulling out surprises, and it's just the first week. And that's the most important thing about it. And it allows the other countries to sit up, those that haven't played yet. If, like you did say, Mexico will stun Germany, Brazil will be held by Switzerland, you know, Argentina and Portugal, that they thought, okay, it's gonna be, it was never easy for all teams. They all picked up 1 point. So it's good to see, and I'm loving it because that's what football is supposed to be.
Some football analysts, so Daniel, are saying it is early days, so many shockers. The bigger boys are going to settle into the tournament and get their rhythm. Does that mean we should change our thoughts on who actually could win the World Cup?
Yeah, well, you know, winning the World Cup, you all, like I've always told the world, you know, going into the Mundial, you have to put the likes of Germany, you put the likes of France, put the likes of Brazil and Argentina. All those ones are capable nations that can win the World Cup. But at the same time, you know, we saw it in 2010. You know, the Spaniards end up losing their first game against Switzerland. What happened? They went all the way and won the World Cup. So after the second game, we'll see those that have settled down or those that are ready to go back home. Because one game, of course, is huge because you have only 3 games to play. But at the same time, you know, another 90 minutes in your kitty and a good result will definitely propel you to the next stage.
Well, my final question is breaking news. Of course, Uganda not at the World Cup. We all know this. But Nigeria is at the World Cup. And one of the bigger debates Daniel and I have been having is which African team will do better. Egypt losing, Morocco losing, Nigeria not doing well. There's Tunisia and Senegal in there to still look out for. Daniel, should we change our minds? Could an African style still do perfectly well? Yeah,
why not? Like I did say earlier, you know, we came into the Mundial thinking it would be an easy ride for those countries that we did mention that, you know, didn't have a good start in the first game. Yeah. Little country like Mexico are stepping up. Australia had the wonderful game. Nobody expected it. And of course, you know, why not? Senegal could be a surprising team. Like I've always said, Tunisia is a nation that always go to each tournament as a dark horse because you never know what they're going to bring to the plate. But, you know, will an African country make us proud? We are hoping and we wish they do better than the first game they have played for us.
Daniel, finally, I do request you. I really do request you. There are so many football fans in Uganda who have watched you over the years, who have followed your career. Most of them are some younger football fans as well. I've always wanted to ask you as a legend, what advice do you give those youngsters? You left Nigeria when you're just 16. What's your word to the young football fans out there in Uganda who want to achieve as much as you achieved?
You know, the generation have surpassed us when we played and the new generation. The new generation, you know, I call the young ones because they watch a lot of football. You know, they predict a lot of football, but, you know, they don't put football into play, you know, on the field, you know, because football is practical, it's not theoretically. You know, you have to be the man to be the man. You know, focus on whatsoever you do, put 120% into whatever you want to do, but at the same time, I've always said focus on education because education is key. The name of the game, there's a lot of hazard in football. You know, you never know. I stopped playing at the age of 28, and I've always told that. I'm not telling you a story, it's a living testimony. If I wasn't equipped a bit in the educational aspect, I'll have been doomed by now because we've seen a lot of our generation who are struggling. So education is key, but follow your dream. If you will be a superstar and a football player, dedicate your life to it and you will surely be.
Thank you very much, Daniel. Daniel has something he always says, and I do love saying it, and I'm going to ask him to say it. He always says, holla, if you hear me.
They didn't say it right. Holla, if you hear me.